Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give the Democratic Party some tips and pointers on, things they can do to enhance their voter block that, because they're, after all, they're losing the black vote. And you notice they're not offering anything. But one thing I did hear out in the media recently, things that Joe Biden has put in place has helped black people. That is not the message you should be coming out with. And don't come out with the Kamala everybody. Well, what you do for everybody also helps black people. No, don't come out with that message either, because that ain't gonna work for you. Okay. Now, over these last several months, and maybe over a year now, because Russia Ukraine is still going on, we have seen the Democratic Party and the Republicans divvy up all this money to give out. But I want y'all to look at the people that are getting the money, right? You got the Asians that had the crime bill and they got money. You have Israel and really the Palestinians too, because that's why they're trying to call for a ceasefire so they can take millions and millions of dollars and aid into the people, but they won't call a ceasefire. So, and then we have Ukraine that have usurped so much money, it's not even funny. And then you have the people south of the border who may be a few shades lighter than the Haitians. The Haitians, they want nothing to do with. In fact, I saw a deportation story on a plane full of Haitians about a week ago. So, they'll do for migrants as long as you're not a Haitian or African. If you're none of those things, they ain't gonna do nothing for you. Okay. But they will do for the light, bright, and all right. So, you got the Ukraine, you got the migrants, you got the Asians, and you got Israel and aid for the Palestinians, right? And if you notice, none of these people are deep, dark, melanated folks. Because, even the migrants coming, you don't see the melanated ones coming across the border. Very few. When you see those caravans, it's not the deep, dark, melanated ones at all. That's why they don't have no problem letting them in and flooding the borders and just letting them flood in and day out, you know? So it is very clear that the US government divvies out money like a racist because they don't have nothing for the dark people, but they sure got it for the people that match them practically. So let's get into this. So here's some pointers for the Democratic Party. I realize some of y'all are kind of long in the tooth up there on Capitol Hill, so let me help you out. So last time I looked, I believe it was over $14 billion going to Israel. And there's aid, millions and millions of dollars in aid for the Palestinians, but they can't get them to call that ceasefire. So they can't get in there to give out those millions and millions of dollars worth of aid. And then we know when the Asians got their hate crime bill, which is now a law, it's not a bill. We really should have the Asian hate crime law on our tongues because that's what it is. And they got money too, on top of getting their law passed. And now we are watching them fork over millions upon millions for migrants. They are housing these migrants, they're getting vouchers, they're getting new clothes, cell phones, and all kinds of perks for just illegally crossing the border. They just getting all these perks as long as they're the right complexion, not the Haitians, y'all, not the Haitians. The Haitians get whipped on horsebacks and then placed on planes and flown out of here. That's what happens to Haitians. So anyway, Then you have Russia, Ukraine. Now, Ukraine, they done got billions of dollars since the beginning of their war, February 2022 with Russia. And the money has not stopped flowing to Ukraine. It's still flowing as we speak. They have nothing but a bottomless pit full of money. So let's talk about how the Democratic Party can capture these votes for people they done did everything for, because we're too melanated for them to do anything for. So they give out money based on skin tone. Apparently, if you work for the government, they give money out according to skin tone. So there are a lot of Israeli Americans and some that have dual citizens. So you can get those people to vote for you. And then, of course, there are communities of Palestinian Americans and Arab Americans over here as well. There are, we know the Asians, because, the Chinese and Koreans, they actually have towns and a lot of these major, you can go and pander to these people, and get them to come out and vote for you. And of course, you got the migrants, they can't vote, but that don't mean you can't get their relatives and friends that have already migrated here and get them to vote. I'm sure by now there's plenty of second and third generations of them here as well. So that's a thought for you, Democratic Party. And we know you flew over hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians when the war first broke out, and I did the video on the Ukrainians coming through south of the border, coming into Mexico, going to the border, and y'all personally escorted them out and brought them into the country. You weren't screaming and hollering at the border to send them back or nothing. You just gladly brought them in. So find the Ukrainian Americans and get them to vote for you. See, that's another tip for you. And if y'all remember, there was a Zoom call. There was a Zoom call. And Joe Biden was on there with what they called black leaders. I don't know why these people think they can pick our leaders, but they they think they can, y'all. Nobody on that Zoom call was a leader to me. In fact, they weren't a leader to many, but that's nor here or there. So during that call, many of you may remember Joe Biden made a remark saying that there were more Hispanics than us here in the black community. And soon we're going to have to go to them if we want to get things done. So, that being said, since Joe Biden is so fully aware that there are more Hispanics in the country than there are black, there go your voting block right there. Democrats, then you shouldn't have why are you having a problem? And why are we seeing out in the media every single day that you are losing the black vote? The black youth don't want to vote for you, black men don't want to vote for you, and now a lot of black women are stepping away. So according to Joe Biden, there's more of them than there are of us. So, but here's the problem: the majority of the people that I named, that they actually help out, don't vote Democrat. They can't rely on the ones that I name to get them in office. And the Democrats already know they can't get in office sailing on the white vote only. It's not enough white Democrats. That's already come out. There's no point in y'all coming over here, because every now and then you get the little idiot ones that come out, no, there's enough white people. No, you can't. No, you can't. And your numbers are dwindling. Pretty soon, you're not even going to be able to get in office if your numbers start falling enough. So ladies and gentlemen, all I have to say is the Democratic Party got their work to do, since they don't want to do anything for the melanated community that have been here in this country for centuries. They can't get the George Floyd bill passed. They just shrug their shoulders and move on. They did not even try to sell that bill. They didn't do nothing. And we want a crime bill. You can't even get the words crime bill to part a Democrat's mouth. Okay. It won't come out of their mouth. It just can't come out. And forget about reparations. I mean, HR 40 has already gone to the boneyard. Okay. That's in the boneyard. That mess wasn't going to help us anyway. It was never going to help us. So anyway, they had to make it look like they were doing something. And you ever notice everything they pick up for our cause, they never ever try to get the votes for it. And they never ever can get anything through. When the Asians got their hate crime bill, they got that bill through ununanimously. When George Floyd bill came up, they just shrugged their shoulders. We just couldn't get the votes. We just couldn't get the votes. Oh, it's the Republicans. Oh, it's Tim Scott. We just couldn't do it. Oh, well, y'all don't tell no other group that. I find that amazing. Reparations. Oh, you're never going to get that. You ain't going to get the number. Really? So you mean to tell me y'all can get the numbers for Ukraine? You can get the numbers for the Asians. You can get the numbers for Israel and the Palestinians and for the migrants. You got the numbers. You got the numbers. But when we come with our concerns and the things that we want, the numbers aren't there. And see, a lot of the youth, they're upset with Joe Biden over the student loan debacle. See, he made promises about the student loan, and that's another thing he did not deliver on. So every time like I said, they push money and can fund everything based on race. That's what the Democratic Party do. So if you are somebody that looks close to their complexion, they got money for you. They do. If you don't look close to their complexion, they'll just shrug your shoulders and say the numbers aren't there to pass it. The numbers aren't there to pass it. 500 years of racism, and it's still showing up in the government, among the politicians. Imagine that. And you want to know why you're losing the vote. Your black voters are jumping ship on you. And you notice they're still not doing anything about it. You know why? They think they're going to show up in your churches, talk that, oh, well, if we do for everybody, black people will benefit too. And, oh, well, we have done things that have benefited black people, because I heard that message like just a few days ago. Joe Biden put things in place that have not only been, everybody, but black people too. If that's your message, don't come at all. Don't come at all. So, they're getting their game plan together, y'all. They gonna show up in your black churches. They're gonna bring the hot sauce. They're gonna start dancing to rap music offbeat. And then they're gonna come in front of you. They may actually sing a church hymn like Obama did. They may do that. And they'll think, oh, it's a shoo-in, they got your vote. This time around, if they lack intangibles, they lack in vote. And if you're not talking about the things that are specific to the black voting community, then what you're going to say will definitely fall upon deaf ears. So, Democrats, you got about a year. And if you're going to go at the pace that you're going now, it's definitely a loss for you. So if there's no tangibles and things that you can pass, no, we don't want a promise because you made promises about the George Floyd bill and you did nothing about it. You made empty promises about HR 40. And that did not turn out to be nothing. That both the George Floyd bill and the HR 40, those things are in the boneyard now. Y'all, those things are lying in the boneyard. So if there's nothing you can give us, there's nothing we can give you. It's going to be kind of nice playing that game of benign and neglect, but this time on you. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.